guys, welcome to the Homestead. So today we got a lot to talk about. I just got back this last few days from Southfork Homestead up in Illinois, Paris, Illinois. Had a fantastic time up there. I got to meet some great people. As always, got to learn a bunch of things, hear a bunch of great lectures from people who know what they're talking about. And so I just wanted to come in and just talk about my experience up there and kind of just let you know about Southfork if you've never been there, but then also just talk about Joel Salatin and me being able to chat with him a little bit on what's happening in our country when it comes to the FDA, USDA, and some of our farming practices, because he definitely addressed that while we were there. And I got to talk to him just a little bit. So here's the deal. I went to Southfork Homestead, was invited there to come speak, had a fantastic time. If you've never been to Southfork, this is a homestead that you want to visit. And unlike a lot of homesteads, even including mine, they allow visitors. I don't allow a lot of visitors to my place. They do. I just don't have time for that. That's not what I'm geared for, but that's what they're geared up for. He has spent, and his wife has spent, just an enormous amount of time building up this homestead and making it a learning center for you to go to and to enjoy and to just experience. And I can't think of anything better. It's been an absolutely fantastic time when I was there. And so they had the thing I will always remember most, it was so good, was they had this frozen apple cider slushy machine there. And it was from locally harvested, apples. Fantastic. Okay, so if you've never been to a place like this, you need to go visit. It kind of reminded me of Baker Creek, but like 10 times better, 50 times better. The only thing Baker Creek has is because, they sell seeds, but most people, I think, are aware that most of their seeds don't germinate anymore anyway. They have horrible germination rates for the last few years, and they've kind of gone off the rails in weird ways. But Southfork had this tons of things for kids to do, tons of activities that you can go and visit, and they have a corn maze, which right now this time of year is not very high, but in the fall when so many people come out and visit, they have this giant corn maze. They have an entire fire engine truck that kids can climb over, climb on, and play with. And they have all of this stuff out there. So you're gonna have all kinds of fun with your kids out there, lots of activities. But then, it's a learning environment. It's a learning place of learning for people who are serious about homesteading, who want to know about fruit and nut trees, who want to know about gardening things, who want to know about raising livestock. All of this stuff is there for your consumption, for your ability to learn and educate yourself. I highly, highly recommend going out to visit this if you can up in Paris, Illinois. Look at their website, Southfork Homestead. I'll put a link below. You can click on that and learn all you need to know about going out to visit this place. Amazing place. While I was there, I had the opportunity to talk to Cora from Pinch of Patience. I was really excited to meet her because I've learned so much from her videos when it comes to meat processing and meat curing and all. And she has other great videos too. And so I got to talk with her a little bit, and she did a demonstration. But she recently put on her channel something that I am becoming more and more interested in. I don't know if I'll get into it right away, but that is milk sheep. And she got some, I believe, Finnish sheep milkers. And so that was on her channel recently. And so I got to talk to her a little bit about that. But then also Rachel Hester, who was out there at the event, gave me this book. She gave some demonstrations and talked about the dairy sheep. I because of time constraints and things, I did not get to go to her talk, but she gave me her book, and it's full of looks like great info, all kinds of great pictures, and it looks like a book you would absolutely want to have on your shelf if you were interested in anything remotely related to milking sheep or sheep cheese or any of that stuff. So all of that is in this book, and I'm looking forward to reading it and learning from her knowledge. And I believe Cora over at Pinch of Patience is learning a lot from her as well. But that's Rachel Hester, and I'll put a link to that book down below so you can pick it up over at Amazon or wherever it's located at. But the Guide to Homestead Dairy Sheep. I'm really wanting to explore this more, and I don't know if it's something I'll ever be able to really get into because I do raise meat sheep here currently, and I'm happy with that, but I guess I want more. we'll see how that goes. But this is the beginning stages of learning that and just seeing if that's something I want to get into. But I am very interested. The other thing I got to do was talk to Joel Salatin. Now, he gave a fantastic speech. And as I was listening to him, I became frustrated. Not with him, but with the certainty of what he is talking about ever being implemented here in this country. And what he's talking about is common sense. You know, we learn best from people who have done things, not just talk about things, but who have done things. And Washington, D.C. is full of people who talk a lot of things, but haven't done anything. And as I was listening to him, I became frustrated because I'm thinking back to Elon Musk and how Elon Musk went into Twitter and basically fired half the staff and gutted it from within, completely gutted it, and kept that company going, proving that it was full of a bunch of stuff that the company didn't need, a bunch of personnel that were just sucking up resources. That means money. And he got rid of it. And it's still working. And it's better. I think X is 10 times better than what it was back when, it was Twitter. And so he tried to do that with government, and he got so frustrated that he left, and he realized it's easier to send a man to Mars than it is to cut spending on government, which is why I have always said on my channel, they're never going to stop printing, and they're never going to stop spending money. Not ever. Not in your lifetime, not in anyone's lifetime. That's what government is, a giant sucking machine. And the more you give it, the more it wants. It never reduces itself. That's not what the machine does. And here we have Joel Salatin, who's up on stage talking about all of these wonderful practices and things that work, common sense things for homesteaders and for agriculture and for business. And I'm thinking to myself, there is no way this stuff is ever going to be implemented. It can't be, because you're talking to the machine. It's not going to happen. So after he got done, I went up there and I very quickly asked him, I said, Joel, how has this message been received in Washington, D.C.? And he looked at me and he said, I haven't been to Washington, D.C. I'm like, wait a minute, I keep hearing, or he said, I haven't taken this message to Washington, D.C. I'm like, wait a minute, I hear about all this stuff about how you're going to D.C. and how you're, the FDA or USDA is bringing, he said, that's social media nonsense. That's just social. It's like, he says, I do have access to people that I didn't normally have access to. People underneath RFK, some people of HHS, so that he does have access to people who are listening to him. But he even admitted to me right then and there, he said, this is not something that's going to change overnight. We're talking about millions upon millions of jobs that are dependent on a system that is going a certain way. And you're talking about changing that way. And I said, yeah. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, this will never get changed. Because this is a gravy train that is happening right now, ladies and gentlemen. And there are a lot of palms that are being greased along that gravy train. And when you try to step on toes and identify where those greasy palms are and where that wasteful spending is, it's going to be like Elon Musk, and they're going to say, hey, we don't want you here anymore. You need to go. It's time for you to go. And that's exactly what Joel Salatin wants. He is the Elon Musk of the homesteading world. He's the Elon Musk of the agricultural world. But listen, we were there at I would say the Southfork event was a pretty small event compared to some of the ones I've been to. It's growing for sure, but there were people lined up to get books signed by Joel Salatin. They wanted to hear what he had to say, and he was talking a lot of common sense, and he's a very good speaker. But that message is never going to be received in Washington beyond just listening to it. They're never going to act on it because it affects a lot of people's money. Maybe I'm just a cynic. Maybe I have a poor attitude about this. But I think I try to live in reality, and I try to use history as my guide of what's happened before and what will happen again, because it's just circular. I don't think what Joel wants to do is going to happen. And I think he's he is the model for us to follow, but I don't think DC is interested in that model because of just the amount of money that's happening. That's exchanging hands. But I'm interested to hear what you think. Let me know what your thoughts are below. Joel Salatin is also going to be at the Homesteading Expo, the OZARK's Homesteading Expo 2025, coming up in Marshfield, Missouri. If you're interested in hearing him speak, and I highly, highly recommend going to hear him speak, he's just a wealth of knowledge. He's a wealth of inspiration. And he's the kind of person you need to keep you on track on staying focused on success, because when you're homesteading, when you're trying to do a lot of these things, it can be frustrating and it can be challenging, and you need that motivation behind you. So just as a motivational speaker, I would highly recommend going to see him at the OZARK's Homesteading Expo coming up in Marshfield, Missouri, 2025. It's in early September. You can go to just Google OZARK's Homesteading Expo. You can get all the information at the website that comes up on Google, or you can go to my website at AmericanHomestead.com. and AmericanHomestead.com, and just click on the events tab right there at the top of the page, and right there you can get all the information linked over to that website and where Joel Salatin will be speaking next, and where I will be also this year. So this next event over in Marshfield, I will be speaking on preparing your homestead for collapse. This is a very serious message, and I think most of us look at the world today and go, wow, what a mess, and how do I get ready for what's coming? If you're interested, come visit me at the OZARK's Homesteading Expo, and I will talk about that with you. Preparing your homestead for collapse. If you notice, they don't allow YouTube to put ads in between my videos, because I hate viewing a video where I'm really interested in the topic and then all of a sudden there's this interruption from YouTube ads. It just breaks the concentration. I have to wait for it to skip, or maybe 2 times for it to skip. And so what I do is I put advertisements at the back or the front of my videos, and then I let you watch the content in between. But at the end, I talk about some of the things that I'm interested in, like Perfect Pickler, and that is vegetable fermentation. Vegetable fermentation, and I talked about that at the recent event I was at. Vegetable fermentation is something that we humans really don't do anymore. Most of the fermented vegetables you're going to find in the grocery market are not fermented, not truly fermented. They contain 0 probiotics, which studies have proven. It all is just a marketing gimmick. A marketing gimmick. And so the way you make good probiotics, good fermentations at home, is to do it yourself in the comfort of your own kitchen with the perfectpickler.com kit at perfectpickler.com. You can find all the information at perfectpickler.com. I really appreciate you sharing that link, because sharing that link helps our results in the search engines and allows more people to find it, so we can get back to real fermentation. All right, guys, love you. I'll see you next time in the homestead. Bye. Have you ever gone to a health food store and seen all those small bottles of probiotics in your cooler section? Man, can they be pricey. Are you really getting all you need to improve your gut health from those expensive bottles? How viable are they? Most of those products claim to give you between 8 and 15 strains of gut-healthy healing bacteria. Think of each strain of bacteria as a different factory in your gut. Each factory is responsible for breaking down that food in its own way. The more factories you have, the more the food is broken down and the easier the food is absorbed and digested by the body. A 2018 study published by the National Library of Medicine shows that 1 fermented head of cabbage can produce up to 114 strains of beneficial bacteria. That's a lot more food factories than you're getting from that expensive pill bottle. And that's just cabbage. Imagine the probiotics when you add garlic, onions, pepper, and more to that ferment. PerfectPickler.com and its home fermentation kits provide you with everything you need to get started making your own gut-healthy food factories from the comfort of your own kitchen. PerfectPickler.com even provides a jam-packed recipe book with many of our kits. Visit PerfectPickler.com and start fermenting your own veggies to begin your journey to better gut health. That's PerfectPickler.com. Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.